cutscenes later on, but they're very pretty and they're super cool and worth watching. Oh, sorry for that. I had something going on with my Twitch over there. So, here we go. Let's see. This is a super fun game. I love the way Ori moves. Check out that fluid. Normally with animation like this, you would need to sacrifice frames of movement and make your character very clunky to control. Oh, I almost missed the secret. It's been a while since I played this one. I really love it, though. This is probably my favorite Metroidvania, and I really love the genre. It's better than Super Metroid, in my opinion, or at least I should probably replay Super Metroid again at some point before I make that for sure, but I'm pretty sure I like this better than Super Metroid. There are some things, there's one kind of game-breaking deal I don't like about it that I feel could be better, or at least there could be a sort of pro version that could be offered that would fix what issues I have with it. Look how, even if you find the secret, that doesn't quite get you enough experience to level up. That does, though. But I think the idea was they wanted to introduce you to level ups a little later on. So you are unlikely to level up early on your first game before you're ready for it. Yeah, so since this is a practice stream, it's going to be a little lower key. Especially because my son's up and around, so I may need to stop suddenly for diaper change time or something along those lines. These are, I think, monkeys? Or frogs? I'm pretty sure the frogs are the ones that shoot at you. I think those are supposed to be... Well, maybe those are also frogs? Everything in this is supposed to be really small. Ori is on a very, very tiny scale. You can see these are just like regular tree roots. They're not giant trees. Ori is just tiny. So the enemies in the game are supposed to be real small. Kuro is not a giant bird. She is just a bird. So... yeah, right now I'm looking at I'm trying to work on my vocal tics. Particularly, there's this very annoying whine thing that I do at the end of when I'm talking sometimes, that I've noticed on rewatch, and I'm really trying to work on that. Let's see, so going up, I generally go up the spirit tree, because that has the most useful, awesome stuff in it, and getting all the way through it gets you to triple jump. But you kind of want to split that between the attack, and you want a few points in this, because if you run up the tree, you can get... boy. Yeah, if you get all the way up to spirit efficiency, it doubles your experience points. So, you don't necessarily want to leave that for last, but you need, gosh, unless you're going to plow your first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 levels directly into stuff that kind of doesn't help you if you know how the game works, because like you got pickups flow to you, that's okay. Pickups show on the map it's alright, but it's less useful if you kind of know the map, right? This is great. Life efficiency restores, or life pickups restore twice as much health, that's useful. But less useful than, what is it? Yeah, regroup, which you use friggin' constantly. So, and you know, you see the first few of these are not great. Most pickups will automatically be absorbed, which is so not terribly useful after you already have Spirit Magnet. I don't know, I guess it's helpful in some very specific scenarios, but it's just not worth the 2 ability points. Energy pickups, increasing your energy gained is like, bleh, right? It's, I don't know. You are out of energy a lot in the early game, so it is nice to rush, but beyond that, by the late game, you just don't care that much. And then ability cells showing up on the map, I mean, that's helpful, but it's not, right? Again, if you know the map and kind of know what to look for, it's less useful. It's basically, this should really be the end of the tree, because it's sort of what you need for... The last few of these really just help you go for 100% completion. So I'm going to go with Spirit. The ability to rekindle is very useful. The ability to heal when you create Spirit links is really useful. You get unlimited breathing time. You get such useful stuff out of the Spirit Tree. The attack tree, you want to put a few points in now and then, or else the fights become really grueling because you can't quite finish off the enemies. The talent tree in this is very well designed, insofar as the stuff is all pretty useful. It's just there are some real decisions to be made. You're making sacrifices by going down one tree or the other. You can try to split the difference and go down a couple trees at once, but the capstone abilities are useful enough that you really feel like you wanna stretch toward those. Getting them early is helpful for the most part. Regroup. This is so useful because it lets us, every time we make one of our cells, it basically gives us a healing spell that also saves the game for us. Costs a blue, one of your little energy orbs down there, but it's very helpful. I use it all the time because I'm a scrub. I get hit constantly. I could not play this game on one life. That's completely absurd. I'm not that kind of player. I don't go for that kind of perfect exhibitionist running. There are a couple of games, like, say, Super Mario 64, right? I love to play that way. But that's a special... That game is really, really built for that in a way that I feel most games aren't. That game really teaches you how to do that stuff. This one... There are people who are very crazy good at it, of course. There are always speedrunners or what have you, but I'm not one of those. Not for this game. I love it, but I wouldn't find a lot of fulfillment out of playing it that way. For me, this game is about the beautiful art, the fun, flowy movement, exploration. Oh, so I alluded earlier, this game has one flaw that I really feel sort of weakens it, and that is its absolute insistence on telling you exactly where to go all the time. It's not so bad, because you really can go out of your way, find stuff early, get to things, but it's really just little bonuses. You can get, you know, health or whatever cells. There's no sequence breaking, really. There is, if you're a speedrunner and you know how to do frame-perfect crap that lets you clip through walls and stuff, but that's not really... You know, you have to do the main dungeons in order. The game shows you exactly where they are on the map, and there really isn't a point to doing a lot of stuff out of order. Oops. It's a brutal hard game, too. I like it because it doesn't do that in a really horrible way. It's not dickish about it. It doesn't waste your time, or it does, but it feels like it's your fault when it does, because the game has a player-directed save system. It costs your little blue mana orbs down there to save the game, but those are pretty easily replenished. And there are also those sort of fountains that they'll heal you up, restore all of your health and mana, and they allow you to save. Pro tip, if you're full up on mana and you come across one of these little mana crystals, make a save point. And then that way, if you die, you can come back to here instead. It's really easy to forget to do that, and then screw yourself. It's something you get used to doing as the game goes on, though, and they make a point of... This is a really well-designed game, and there are a couple of points where they very intentionally kill the first-time player in order to teach them, like, that was a bad idea, you should be saving more often. And you think about it, and it doesn't... The point is they do it when it doesn't waste a lot of your time. They do it when it's a little bit painful, but not just, oh, go redo the last 2 hours. It's more like go redo the last 3 minutes. And then you'll be sure when you get back there to say, oh, I better save first, because this part's hard. Oh, I don't have the wall jump yet. And I don't have the thing that allows me to absorb spirit orbs. Don't I feel foolish? It took me a very slightly longer time to get all those experience orbs. You can miss out on a little experience or health early on because you don't have that power-up. So it's not useless, but it is kind of silly. You will note, too, that Ori sorta draws in the orbs even before you get any of the upgrades. So it really doesn't allow you to do it so much as it does make it, you know, occur at a useful radius. Leveling up is a screen clear. The speedrun, which again, I don't believe I've said it, but the speedruns of this are incredible. Go check them out if you get the chance. Any movement-based game, the speedruns are a lot of fun to watch, until they turn into... So all speedruns trend toward this thing where they become nothing but watching people vibrate through a gray void for like 15-20 minutes. And it's technically very impressive if you know that it takes frame-perfect movement to vibrate through that gray void as fast as humanly possible. And then you try to get that done 1 or 2 frames faster than the person that's done it before you. But it's not a lot of fun to watch, and I think not a lot of fun to play. There's a reason that a lot of games start developing... there's a lot of games develop different categories that get rid of some glitches, or... It's because, looking at it even from a speedrunner's perspective, there are a lot of speedrunners who are very gung-ho about, you know, you need to get the fastest possible time, that's the purest form of speedrunning, and I can respect that. I don't think the overall record should get toned down because it's boring to get. That's not what speedrunning's about. But I also feel like it's got to be depressing to devote your life to mastering a game and learning how all the mechanics work and learning these cool shortcuts and figuring everything out. And then it all fails to matter because somebody finds a way to warp to the end credits in the first 15 minutes of the game and you wasted your time. I feel like that has to suck, right? So I feel like a lot of them, they had a lot of fun running the game when it was enjoyable, when there was something to it besides vibrating through a gray void as fast as humanly possible. So I think that's why those things exist, and they should probably continue to. Yeah, we're gonna get Quick Flame now, so that it helps us kill some stuff. I think we need it for the next thing up on the... Oh no, we need Charge Flame for the next deal up on the Spirit Tree. Yeah, so I feel like there's something to be said for creating categories of speedrun that don't just involve clipping directly to the end. I'm sure that wasn't what I was talking about at the start of this, but I've forgotten what I was saying. That's something else I'm trying to work on, keeping my train of thought, but that's why we practice. Lots and lots of practice. Yeah, but I feel like the biggest failing this game has is that there's very little room for exploring, finding things in your own order, and that's something I feel that a lot of Metroidvania games are about, and this one does a decent job about not being about that, I'll grant. It really builds around the mechanics it has, and it's well designed on so many levels. I really feel like it's not worth dinging it over that, you know? Oh, where's the... I saw the map stone earlier, and I don't remember where it is. You see, if I had gone down the utility tree, it would tell me. I think I know where it is. Yeah, so the early part of this game is pretty good, but it gets so fantastic later on when you get extra jumps, and a glide, and dashes. Here's the map stone, I was right. Yeah, the game becomes very beautiful, and the movement becomes really fluid and fun eventually, when you're chaining together these dashes and glides and double jumps, wall jumps. By the end of the game, you can get through the whole thing barely having your feet touch the ground. And Ori and the Blind Forest also has a key mechanic that is just brilliant, called the bash. And we will get to that when we get there. But it is the coolest. And sort of what, I guess the equivalent of, say, your Super Mario 64's backflip wall jump or something. I don't really know how to put it. Because I think one of the things that makes the game so great, and what makes it such a standout Metroidvania, is that I don't think a lot of Metroidvanias have a movement mechanic like the bash. What it most reminds me of is if you've ever played Klonoa Door to Phantomile, or the sequel Klonoa Lunacia's Veil on the PS2. There is a mechanic where the main attack you have is the Wind Bullet, which allows you to snare enemies and inflate them like a balloon. And then you can kick off of them to perform a double jump. And you can do that really fast, so you can grab an enemy and immediately bounce off and jump in midair and get height off of them. and you can chain that together by grabbing more enemies. And that's what the bash allows you to do in this game, only you cannot, like, in Klonoa, you just go straight up. That's the only direction to go with a multi-jump, and then you have to use your ear flap and a few other moves to maneuver in midair. But Ori and the Blind Forest allows you to bash in any direction, which means both that you have a lot more control over where you're going with your special jump, and it also allows you to deflect the enemy off in different directions, which you can use to break barriers and such. Klonoa has something similar going on, but you can only bash straight down with it. So you can only send the enemies in one particular direction. This little gauntlet here teaches you how to use the wall jump effectively, usually by dying a lot, but I've played this game before. Whoop. Oh, I forgot anyway, I need this thing. Need these key runes so we can open the door. So we're through kind of the first basic tutorial starty area that introduces us to the couple of basic moves in our moveset, gets us comfortable with things. The game's about to pick up in difficulty very quickly here. It has this beautiful flow to it. It has a little bit of a difficulty spike when you get to the Ginsu tree that I think might be a little too much. But I can grant them that. That's difficult to nail. Oh, did I break something? I don't think so. Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm complaining about. Is that this part tells you where to go in what order and which direction, and you really can't break that. It's really not that bad, I suppose, just because most Metroidvania games really do that. They just don't tell you where to go next. Your abilities unlock new doors that lead you to new areas, and you can't sequence break very much because you need your abilities to get new places. But old-school, hard-ass Metroidvanias expect you to figure it out on your own. Keep a mental map of where you've been and where you need to go. Whoop, dead already. But the trick is... Oh, did I miss? I missed the Blackfoot Burrows. We're going to do that so I can get the dash. Yeah, old school Metroidvanias expect you to find your own way. And remember where you've been and where you need to go, that sort of thing. And so, what I like about that is that it makes me feel more like I have some agency. I'm not just being... If I wanted to play a linear platformer, just make it a linear platformer, right? Why scatter everything around and make me walk between it? If it's just going to be it could just be a linear corridor. And the game isn't quite that bad. There are still things to find out of order, and there are some cool things you can do early on or later, and so there's stuff to find, and it's not totally pointless, but it also just doesn't give you the sense of... In Metroid games, you really feel like you're lost in a weird, bizarre alien world that wants you dead, and part of that is that everything is very confusing. But I do appreciate that nobody likes the, oh god, where do I go, what do I do feeling, where you just wander around Meridia for 15 minutes. So it's kind of worth dealing with it to not have that going on, right? So you gotta take the good with the bad. Oh boy, I don't like the Blackfoot Burrows. I am not a fan. They added this in the definitive edition, and boy is it the worst. The other new area is pretty fun, but the Blackfoot Burrows is a pain in the ass. Especially if you're trying to do it as early as I'm doing it. That's the deal, is you can do it whenever. But this one... Like, the two new areas they added, I feel like, sort of make up for that, because you can do the Blackfoot Burrows whenever you want. It gets you a useful move, but not something you really need to get to other areas, so it's totally out of sequence. You can do it very early or very late, and it's helpful, but, you know, it's up to you when you want to tackle it. It's very hard to do right away. So this orb thingy erases these objects and reveals others. Oh, it blinked out right as I was about to pick it up. Lame. So the thing I really like about this game is that your attack is Sane here, is a little orb of light that hovers around you. And your attacks come from Sane, so even when your hands are full, you fight at full capacity. You just can't dash or do certain other things where you're holding an object. Ooh. Boy, this would be easier to deal with if I had the bash. And those I would have picked up if I had the ability to absorb from the spirit tree. So, you know, it's not worthless. Oh, I can't make a save. Well, that's okay. I'll pick up one of these. Save. Pick up the other. That's efficiency. That's the kind of thing you gotta be able to do if you're gonna... Oh, I wanted to get back to my spirit link, but I messed it up a little. That's okay. Okay. Oh, whoops. Oh, I can't wall jump. I'm doomed. So you remember me saying I don't like the Blackfoot burrows very much? That would be why. There's a lot of stuff in this that's just, you cannot tell what the F you're supposed to be doing. We'll go for Spark Flame. I don't have Charge Flame yet, which I'm going to get in the next area, which sorta cuts me off from the early parts of the Spirit Tree. Ooh. Oh, that's dire. That's dire docks. Speaking of dire docks, we are so doing Mario 64 at some point, let me tell you. These lasers are instant death. Of course. Oop. And then I got greedy, because I'm dumb. Ah, lost that one. Well, that's okay. I was just going to make a spirit link and then... So that's the real trick of doing this with 1 mana, is that your saves are very limited. So if I screw up, I'm going to have to go through that whole laser section again. I'm not too worried about it, though. It was not terribly hard. That was a stupid hit. I really could have avoided that. So if you're paying attention, the thing that is called Regroup, it's the second ability in the Spirit Tree that allows us to heal when we make a Spirit Link. It does so much work. Whoa, that could have gone bad. That could have gone real bad. Fortunately, I had a Spirit Link up here, so I could have killed myself to reset to this area, but I could have dropped into the first part of the level. Because again, the Blackfoot Burrows, it's dark, you can't tell where the hell you are, and they frequently expect you to just navigate these obstacles that I feel they should not expect you to be able to see. Or at least the context around them is strange. You don't know if you are landing on a teeny tiny platform surrounded by spikes, or, you know. Oh right, I need to take this up to the top. That's the other deal about this level, is that generally the level design here is very good and sort of guides you where you need to go, but in this area, specifically, the critical path is often not very clear. And I appreciate that was to some extent intentional, because the whole point of the Blackfoot Burrows is that you're lost in the dark, right? Oh right, you dropped the orb here. It's a clever little puzzle, I like that one. Took me a few minutes my first time. But we're about to light up these burrows and get out of here, so... That's ideal. Here's a little cutscene where Ori pushes up on, yeah. This whole thing is actually pretty tough, just keeping talking the whole time, to be honest with you. Specifically, just recently, I've been very tired. There's been a lot going on. That's okay though, I'm sort of getting used to it. and I am really enjoying streaming, so I wanna keep at it. Plus, I mean, we get this now. Look at this bad boy. That's the dash. You can chain them together almost instantly. I think down there is the next secret area, but we can't access it until we're way later. Woohoo! Well, maybe not. I know it is connected to this area, though. I remember that. I played this game before it was the Definitive Edition. I got it like the week it came out. So... Oops. Oh, we screwed this up. Do-over. I should probably save at the start of this, because it's going to be really easy to die. So the trick is, we gotta open that thing up, and then dash, dash, dash. Dash, 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 dash. Back in the day, it's like dash, dash, dash. Yeah, so down there through that crumbly floor, that's the new area. Oh, I screwed that up a little. No, I'm out of mana. Whoop! Oh no, well, it's good. I'm glad I saved there anyway. Alright. Oh! These chase sequences get very difficult. But you'll note, this is your tutorial for using the dash move, and this is why I say the game is tough. It never takes it easy on you. Your tutorials will be pretty brutal, and it expects you to die a whole lot, like Super Meat Boy or Celeste a lot. Which is totally cool with me because, again, player-driven save system. Look how unpunishing the deaths are. It takes like 2 seconds to come back to life. And then when you pull off these huge chains of super difficult platforming moves, it feels really cool. I need to come back with the stomp to finish some of this area off. There are some good opportunities for backtracking to get more secrets, which a lot of people hate, but I am quite fond of. I actually think that's very good design in a Metroidvania, because half the fun is returning to old areas with new abilities. And again, sort of using your perspicacity, remembering and saying, oh, I remember there was a platform back there that I could break with this new ability, and then you can go back. The warping between these fountains was added in the Definitive Edition, and possibly the best thing they added. The two new powers are a lot of fun. The dash, especially the air dash, is great. But the ability to warp between these things saves so much time that was just spent traversing the world over and over and over again. And that's a weakness. It's fun to backtrack when you're going to get something, but it's not fun to backtrack because the game is making you walk down the same hallway for the 5th time. Oop. Oh no. Whoa! We're gonna ignore that. I'll just pretend I did this perfectly the first time, if that's cool for you. Cool with all of you. All one of you? 0 of you? I don't know that anybody's going to watch this. I don't know that I'm even going to put it up on YouTube. I might. I'll probably at least put it up on private so I can rewatch. Sort of watch the tape of the game and see how I did. So these platforms come down, and then you got a little bridge to move up with your double jump. There's those big blue rocks. We blow those up with the soul charge, or the charge flame. We're going to get that in just a second. Ooh, level up. I should be dashing more. Dashing is fun. Huh, I swear the skill tree for the ability, whatever. Oh, it's over here. Alright. These trees are like the Chozo statues from Metroid. They contain abilities. They also refill your stuff, so I probably didn't need to get that mana, but... So the good news is we can immediately go here and cut the cost of this ability in half. Which is good, because we still only have the 1 mana orb. So now it costs a half a 1. We can use it a whole bunch. I really like the soul charge as an upgrade. It's good as a weapon, it's good in the environment. Just anything that's... A lot of the stuff in this game is like that, where you have multiple uses for everything, and that's just ideal design. Your kit is very well designed in here. And specifically, they give you enemies that are, like, it's worthwhile. You want to use your new abilities on them. Especially if you're sneaking into later level areas. You can get in there, there's just doors that make it sort of unprofitable. You can get like a life orb early, but you can't really go into the dungeon or anything. Yeah. So I'm curious as to... I'm thinking about running some Hearthstone, maybe. Possibly even some Civilization. But those are both kind of slow burn kind of deals. Hearthstone less so. Hearthstone is a crazy clown fiesta. I'll probably definitely run that. I want to get a stream overlay so that I'm not showing off my battle tag and the battle tags of all my opponents when I play. But I definitely want to play some Hearthstone at some point. I've got a real good collection. I'm not the best player on Earth, but I think I've got enough to make it fun. Oh, these guys turn into a bunch of little guys when you kill them, so the charge flame is super useful for them because it'll blow up every little phase of them at once. But again, our mana is very low. We only have 1 max mana right now. That was worth though, especially because there's a mana refill right here. I was trying to get just one again. Oh hey, Matt and Kat are watching, that's cool. I just noticed, I'm sorry, I'm not glancing over at chat much because I thought I was alone. How's it going? Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to stream all that long today. Xander is being kind of a brat, as your 2.5-year-old young man will be. Man, I really need to find a mana cell. This is one of the coolest. I love the, it's really obvious what you have to do to that thing, because it glows blue, same as all the doors you just got done blowing through to get here. And then sort of smashes through the floor here and makes a way forward. It's very neat. Oop. Oh boy, how far back did that send me? No! I forgot to save. Don't be like Goofus. Save your game. Yeah, Xander is in the loud and random screeching phase right now, where he just is super obsessed with how loud he can make his voice. And that's a lot of fun. We're trying to explore the concept of indoor and outdoor voices, but he's still not talking, so it's a little hard to get some of these concepts across to him. Whoa, I got an achievement there. Not really sure for what. Yeah, Xander doesn't really say no yet, so we haven't hit the no phase yet with him. And he's also, Xander, he's very much like me in that, or like as I was as a child, where he doesn't so much just put his foot down and stomp and say, you know, screw you. He more just quietly obeys the rules and agrees when you're around, and then immediately turns around and disobeys anyway. Quietly. Oop. Oh no. Need to get this off at the right time. Oh. I should probably have gone up and got the thing before I did that, but oh no, it's a mana refill. I need to do it now anyway. Oh, thank God. Second mana cell, really necessary. One of the biggest parts of the difficulty at the first stage of the game here is that low mana makes it, like, it limits your saves, it limits your special attacks. It limits a lot. I think what stops it from going full "are you goddamn kidding me" ukulele is that it's not like the energy bar limits everything. Your basic dashes and bashes and stuff don't really use it. Oh, these spiders are monsters. They're a lot of fun once you get the bash ability, because you can throw their projectiles back at them. Oh, I screwed up. That's okay, it gets me all my health back. That's what I needed. I forgot that before you cleanse the water, it's all poisonous and it will kill you. So, like, I'm sort of torn with social media right now. Every day I'm really tempted to just delete my Facebook account and never look back. Get off of Reddit. Get off of Tumblr. Go live in a cave in the mountains with no internet, no electricity. Shit in a bucket. But then 5 minutes later I'm on Facebook again, right? I think that's sort of the problem everybody's going through right now, but in particular it offers me these really cool things. I love to keep up with people. I love all this stuff, but it's also just... Man, there are a lot of people in my life that I don't want to be privy to the innermost thoughts of at all times, and they seem to be the ones who are most eager to share. And beyond that, I feel like there's a lot of... I was talking to a friend of mine about this recently, where I was saying that it feels like in order to belong to any kind of social group now, you just have to be willing to casually hate. Everybody bonds by casually hating. Whether it's on neckbeards, or feminazis, or SJWs, or, right, you gotta have a slur for somebody. You've gotta be willing to go through with it and just talk about entire groups of people as though they're a single homogeneous person with distinct attributes, and I don't know, my friends said, I think there's kind of a couple causes of it. And the first is, you know, people have always kind of been like this, but it was in private, you just didn't hear about it. I think one of the things that our society lacks right now, and is kind of moving towards developing, is etiquette. We trashed our entire concept of etiquette. And so, you know, for the longest time, it was just sort of, there was no etiquette. You say whatever you feel like all the time in any context and whatever. But that's just not sustainable for a long period of time. You need etiquette. Societies need it. Everyone has had one and developed it. And I think we lived without it for a little too long, and it sort of, you know, basic civility sort of went out the window. And you can have totally unlimited free speech until you start making people so absolutely furious with it that they won't stand for it anymore. And the other thing, something my friend brought up that I hadn't really thought about, is that it is very easy to replace people now. They're replaceable. if you don't like one of your friends, now like real life friends that you met in high school or whatever, a little easier to replace, but if you're just talking your social circle on Reddit or Facebook or what have you, it's very easy to just say, I don't like this person, I never want to see them again, and it's fine because I have 100 other people to replace them with, and it'd be trivial and effortless for me to go find more of them. And so it's really, when that happens, inevitably people will be willing to cut off a friendship or exclude an entire group of people over the pettiest crap because you don't need them, right? I don't think that's healthy for society, like, long term, but it's an understandable sort of outgrowth of everyone's incentives that you could say, like, no, I just don't like short people, screw them. And get away with it in a way that you couldn't before because you were stuck with the social group you had. Growing pains of a new sort of social order, I guess, but in the meantime, it's making me totally crazy, and now I understand why old people are furious all the time. Not so much because the world actually objectively becomes worse, but just it changes. You spent your whole life getting used to the way a thing was, and now it's not anymore. And all changes have upsides and downsides, and it's really easy to just see the downsides when you're, you know, crotchety old man, don't want to relearn everything. I'm 30, I know. It's like not even really middle-aged yet. But I've been a bitter old man since pretty much the day I was born, and I'm just finally starting to actually get to a point where my age reflects that, my experiences reflect it, and I got a good reason for it. I don't know. Do you think that's getting too political? I don't want to, like... I really don't want to make the stream about that kind of stuff, but I have observations that I think are kind of interesting. I try to keep out of just, you know, full-on ranting about whatever, because I don't... The deal is, I don't really feel comfortable casually hating entire groups of people, and not just on the basis of your socially protected classes and stuff. I got friends in various political parties and of different persuasions, and I don't see any reason we can't get along. But I worry that I come across poorly sometimes, just because I don't... That was not my position for my whole life, and I kind of learned how to react and relate to people in a different set of circumstances, and... I don't know. Hey, cool, 2 level ups. Oh, I need the double jump. You know, I'm gonna hold these, because I'm about to get the double jump, I think. Oh. These guys are super neat, because they shoot these cannon projectiles. Yeah? Sorry, just saw the comment here. Yeah, right, like, I just don't understand why you can't form a friendship over stuff you love. And be really... You know, like, I love the game Hearthstone, so I hang out on the subreddit for that, and it's just whining, just complaining, just about shitting on the devs, just about shitting on the casuals, or to hardcores, or the pay-to-win, or the... Right, it's... Nobody wants to have a discussion about how much they love something. I feel like that's kind of, you know, it speaks ill of us, makes us worse people, makes our lives less fun and fulfilling. Yeah, but these guys, these are great. You have to guide them into shooting at you, and then get their projectiles to hit a certain spot. But their attacks are incredibly lethal. And if you get too close, they vanish on you. And they leave behind these little explodey bombs you gotta dodge. You wanna know what grinds my gears? How bitter and whiny everybody is these days. It sucks. Let's complain about it. I joke, but that's actually my least favorite argument in the entire world. Oh, I got vaporized. These guys are an awesome experience farm for early in the game, too. Oop. Oh, I didn't get hit. That's nice. But that's my least favorite argument in the world, is when you call for civility and reasonableness in conversation, and then you just say, like, could we please quit whining so much? And then somebody says, oh, and yet ironically you're whining about the whining, and that's not really... I think there's a huge difference between trying to elevate a discourse and just trying to bitch about things. I think there is something to be said for you want to do that in a tactful and useful way, and not just... Yeah. It is possible to actually just bitch about people bitching, but... Oh, man, I had it and everything. Those frogs are super lethal. Pretty much, this early on, pretty much everything is super lethal. I don't remember if there's much worthwhile over here, but it's gonna recharge my mana, so that's worth it. Okay. Yeah! Now I don't have the stomp, so I can't move forward any further than this. It was a very pointless detour. But it got me a little experience. That's, yeah. And this is what I'm saying. When I say that, like, you can sequence break, but it's not really worth it, that's the deal. You can go out of your way, but you're not going to be able to do much until you have the ability you should have had in the first place. Okay, got through it. Now we need to save. Ooh. Oh, please don't let this cutscene disappear, my little blue orb. Okay. Oop. Well, good thing I saved right there. Lost out on the mana, but from the look of things, that was about to happen anyway. Once again, these lasers, instant death. Normally you need to jump up and hide on that little overhang, but if you have the dash, you can absolutely... Oh good, I'm about to get the double jump, because I can tell, because you need the double jump to get up there. See, I can't reach it. The game is excellent about that, sort of teasing you with stuff you can't quite reach yet, but not too far in advance, and not so consistently that you get annoyed about it. Ooh, here we go. It's a full recharge and a save. And I believe this is the... yeah. I'm probably going to finish the Moonlight Grotto and then stop, because I might not even get through the whole Moonlight Grotto, to be honest. I don't have a lot of time today. It's just going to be an unannounced practice stream because I had a little time and I was going to sneak it in. But I don't think Xander's going to nap. I think Liz is probably going to want to be bailed out shortly here. Oh no. Oh, 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 oh! Wow, did you see the damage that did? I'll repeat that I'm on normal and not hard mode. And the game is just merciless anyway. Ooh! You really gotta be careful using the dash in here. Okay, that's what I was looking for. think that's one of them Nifto cells. Oh yeah? Is this a good one? I wanted to do a whole series on this, so... Yeah, I appreciate the audience. It's really, especially since I'm still learning, and it's good to have somebody to talk to. It feels really weird just sort of yelling at the yelling at the ether. Ooh! Man, I keep clipping the edge of these spikes. Oh, I'm missing one of the keys. I know where it is too. I believe. It's sort of hard to believe that the dash was not, like, they added it in the extended version, because it's super useful here. Oh no! Oh! Got plugged. Alright, well we know we missed this thing earlier, so let's go after it. Yeah, I've got a low health save here, which is always a dangerous situation. It reminds me a little bit of the old FPS games with all the health packs, where you could get into a position where you needed to win a firefight with like 6 bullets and 5 health because you had gotten to a save and you were out of materials. But it is one of those games that you can technically beat without taking any damage too, so it's a little fair about it. As you can see, I'm not doing that. I actually have this very bad instinct when I start to do poorly at a game, where I try to make up for it and do flashy shit and try to... And I just get into this bad cycle where instead of... I could have completed it a while ago if I had just been careful. But instead I'm trying to just thread the needle on these little... Something else to note is that the aim on your enemies is just impeccable. If you're standing still, they'll hit you 100% of the time. Ooh, boss fight. So to speak. Oh, it auto-saves for you there, thank God. Fills you up a little too, which is nice. This game does not usually do boss fights. It'll do these little confrontations, but what it mostly does instead are these awesome chase sequences that are obscenely hard, but super cool to watch, and if you do them all in one run, they sync to the music, and it's very cool. Unfortunately, I don't even think, like, I watched this at AGDQ, and I don't even think the speedrunners can consistently run it no deaths, because it's super hard. There's my other key card. Oh no! I thought I killed him. If I have one more complaint about the game, is that it is a little unclear when stuff respawns. But again, that's very minor. That's not the sort of thing a player generally has to be concerned with anyway, and very rarely has any serious impact on the game. Took that dash a little too far. Oh, that ain't good. This does not look good for the Homestar 1-0. We'll pick that up. Man, we're sitting on 3 skill points. We need to go have ourselves a serious level up party. But first, I want the double jump. I want it so I can get the air dash. Because of that. You think it's fun to watch now. So, honest opinion, I think this is the prettiest game ever made to this point. There's some other contenders, but this one is just so gorgeous. Just the watercolor painting aspect and all that. Oh, how could you do that twice in a row? Come on, get it together. Oh, now the frog is gone. Of course. That's right, you can't quite get back up there, 'cause you're about to get this. You get the double jump pretty early on in this game, and then all the way up the spirit tree is the triple jump. Oh, right, I can do this. We need to get the air dash, for sure. And we're going to get the charge flame upgrade. So now, not only can we double jump, but we can dash in the air. Well, that didn't go well. Let's just mulligan. We just saved, so... And the air dash is totally worth waiting for, because as you can see, it's practically this area is built for it. Which is amazing, because this area was built before the air dash was added to the game in the extended edition. Although I sort of suspect that the stuff in the extended edition was things they wanted to add, but they hit their deadline or something. I remember the charge flame being substantially more useful against those dudes, but here we are. Oop. Well, that would have been real easy to avoid. I forgot you can't just fly over the left there yet. You can do that later when you have more of your kit, but for now... Man, come on. We'll save here. I think that's probably worthwhile. Yeah, I say this area is built around the air dash, but it's really supposed to be teaching you exactly how far you can get by double jumping and then letting the arc of your jump sort of naturally continue. This, I believe, is an area you're not supposed to do yet. Screw that, though. Oh, I was thinking this was a different spot. Where am I? Oh, no. Yeah, I'm not thinking so. Oh, no! That's right. You want to go down here. That's supposed to be a lot harder, but again, air dash. This, we do not have. Those doors take your mana, and I don't have 4 orbs yet. There are a couple of 2 orb doors, but even those, it's just not worth it this early in the game, because it's gonna drain all of your mana for quite a while, and what do you have to show for it? Like an extra life cell most of the time. Haven't saved in a little bit here. A little nervous. As well I should be, because we got instant death lasers. That's right. Here is a useful time and place to use your map and figure out what you're supposed to do. Because what you really want to do is go around this way. Oh. Huh. Oh, never. That's right. This. I don't even believe this is where I'm supposed to go. This is a shortcut that I can open up for later. This is a neat little area, at least. I'm glad you can come here early. Damage boost. Whew! That was closer than I'd like. I have no idea how I used to do this without the air dash. Really makes your life a lot easier. Especially right here, man. That's right, jerk. Now I can cross the gap. What are you gonna do when they come for you? Oh hey, actually, let's stop off and spend some XP. Yeah, let's see. Ooh, okay. Actually, I'm gonna save my experience points. The higher level ones start taking 2 or 3 points, and I'm very close to a second point, and I'm getting some very useful, like I'm getting very high in the spirit tree, which gets me some awesome stuff. Now the rock part. This I'm not very good at. Has a good chance of killing me. Ooh. I don't know how you're supposed to do this one without taking any hits, because as far as I can tell, the pattern on these rocks is entirely random. Fortunately, it's very short. That was close. And you just turn it off. It does turn off your dash at certain points, so that you can't skip through these cutscenes super fast and get over all the triggers. Well, that's the Moon Grotto. It's not 100%. But our next stop would be the Ginso Tree, and that's some time-consuming stuff right there. Ooh, I could open that door. That would be great, but I don't have enough mana. I wonder if there's an energy container right up here or something, because I would love to do that. That's a little thing. I don't think I'm supposed to be able to complete that area yet, but I can totally do it if I recall correctly. Never mind. I'll tell you what we're doing instead. Wait. Oh! Oh! Dying right there. Oh, it auto-saved for me. That's fortunate. Like I said, brutally difficult game, not punishing whatsoever, which is the best kind of game. Alright, screw it. We're just gonna get the Ultra Soul Link that doubles my healing from these things. Man. Okay. No problem. There we go. There we go. We can get through here with a little more life. We can pick that secret up, I think. Oh! I forget about that one a lot. Those traps, you can actually see them in the ceiling if you're paying attention. I am so often not. But that's what makes them cool, right? You can actually see the trap coming if you know what's, you know, if you're looking for it. Okay, this is very tricky, and I'm not really sure I can do it with the air dash, but we're gonna try. Oh, God. We're gonna save first, because I keep running into these spikes. No, okay, I need the bash for it. Crap, you get the bash inside the Ginso tree, which is very long and very hard, and has a huge, super difficult sort of boss fight chase at the end, and I would love to do it, but I think I'm kind of reaching my time limit here for right now. Unfortunately. A lot of fun though. I'll do another practice stream soon, and I'm going to schedule an actual day again. I was thinking about doing a Hat in Time today, but I realized that I hadn't announced it ahead of time, and if I did that, there's just no warning for anybody, and that wouldn't be a lot of fun, so. But maybe I might have a babysitter next weekend, I might give it a shot then. I might try some longer sessions, too. I've been doing an hour just because I felt, you know, I was starting out, I wanted to stay sort of comfortable, but I can just as easy try to move it up a little now that I'm getting a little experience, and... Oh, that's right. This part is tough because you can't swim yet. But if you know what you're doing, you can skip over it anyway. Whoa! And if you invested in the air dash, the next level up on the spirit tree I really want to go for, because it gives me the ability to do a damaging dash, which is very fun. So yeah, we did that area a little early. That's a little tiny bit of a sequence break, so it still gives you a little bit of that feeling. Okay, I suppose I'm going to save. I'm going to wrap it up for right now. Thanks for popping your heads in, guys. It was really fun. Thanks for talking to me in the chat. We will see you around next time, I suppose.